Hi, I'm Nick Shell. I'm the guy behind Family Friendly Daddy Blog. I want to introduce you to a concept that's probably always been around you, but you've maybe never paid attention to it. You needed someone like me to give it a name, so I'm going to give it a name, and that is postpartum beard. Now I know when you hear postpartum, you automatically associate with depression, because I know I always did. But then I Googled the term only to realize that it means following childbirth. So what about dads? No, hey, I'm not all about, hey, don't forget about the dad. I'm not that guy. But I'm just saying, I'm teaching you to notice what a postpartum beard is. Because in the year 2016, as far as I'm concerned, all of my friends that are dads, we're the kind of guys that get up in the middle of the night when the baby cries. Now granted, we're not wired to hear the baby cry first like our wives are. And granted, we're not obviously wired to produce milk. But there's definitely things that we can do to help with, even if it means being up with our wives, helping burp, making the formula, or feeding the baby. There's things we can be there and lose sleep too. And it's funny because I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. Even if we're not capable of doing everything as good as our wives can when it comes to taking care of an infant, we can still be there and lose sleep. And I think that's a big part of masculinity in the year 2016 for dads. But it's funny because the media will never get this right. I'm convinced of that. They're going to continue making commercials where dads are just clumsy and don't get it right and all that. And then the wife doesn't get any sleep while the husband does. But I mean, it's funny because that's not my reality. It's not my life, nor is it my friends. I don't have one friend that's a guy, that's a dad, that's not very involved in his kid's life. Now, I'm not saying that's how all dads are, but I'm saying that the ones like us, we're not looking for a spotlight. We're definitely not looking for praise. That's the whole concept of it. I think part of masculinity is that you just do it and you don't wait for the parade to happen, because there is no parade. And you're not doing it for the praise or a parade or any kind of festivities. That's just what you do. And those are the expectations of that. So what I'm wanting to present to you is, when you see a new dad and you see all of a sudden he has a beard, it's not because he suddenly felt like being more stylish. What I want to submit to you is, that's probably him losing sleep too. That's probably him abandoning his hobbies for a while. And again, no one needs to feel bad for the dad, because he's the dad. He's the man, right? So, but what it does mean is he probably has a little less time to shave. And so it's a great time to grow out a beard. Things are going to be crazy for a few weeks following the birth of a child. So postpartum, how long is that? Is it a few weeks? Is it a month? I'm thinking, at least for a guy, it's probably somewhere around 6 weeks. As far as it taking that long to adapt. And for me, this is child number 2. I'm speaking from experience. I've got a 4-week-old daughter when I already have a 5.5-year-old son as well. So I've been through this the first time, but this is the second time. And I looked in the mirror and thought, I have a beard now. When did that happen? And I think that's when it happens. So the postpartum beard demonstrates that obviously dads are much more involved in their kids' life. We know this, but not just with their kids. It's much more than this stereotype of the dad shows up to the parent conferences, or he shows up to the kids' baseball team. Obviously, yes to all that stuff. What we're talking about more specifically is even down to infancy, even to the weeks following the birth. It's not like he just gets to sleep through the night while the wife does all the midnight feedings and all that. In fact, it's just a matter of, that's just so not reality. I mean, what happily married man is there that doesn't get up with his wife and burp the baby and feed the baby and change the baby and entertain the baby to keep them awake so that they'll be tired enough to go to sleep? I don't know of a happily married man that doesn't do all those things I just named. And again, he's not waving his hands in the air asking for everyone to give him credit for it. What I'm presenting to you is this: the modern dad, the ones that I know that are my friends, and the life that I experience, is we're that involved, and before we know it, we have a beard. Now, when you see that beard shaved, that's probably a good indication things are leveling out. We really got things figured out. And there's a good chance in a few weeks that will be me. But as of right now, 4 weeks in, it's still time to keep that postpartum beard. You heard it first from me, Nick Shell, the guy behind Family Friendly Daddy Blog, the postpartum beard.